Guys, welcome back to another video. There has been a lot of links to defenders in the past few days, and I'm just going to be going through it, looking at the different players that have been said and just analysing whether Arsenal should sign them or whether, we really do need to be signing these sort of players. But before I begin, as always, please make sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button and turn on those notifications. It will really help me out. So without further ado, let's begin. And the first player I'm going to be talking about is Jules Kean of Barcelona. There's been links that have come out in the past few days that Arsenal want to sign him and that we've actually made contact with his representatives. For me, I'm a bit shocked by the news when it came out. It's from Jules Romano from Barcelona. He seems to be a pretty reliable Barcelona news outlet. And Jules Kean, he just reminds me a lot about Ben White. There's a lot of similarities when you watch them play. They're both hybrid, centre-back and full-back on the right side of the pitch, and they're both really good with the ball as well. And that makes me question, do we really need to sign another player like Ben White? It's better to have multiple, profiles in our squad rather than stacking up the same sort of player, because I just feel like there will be no point. And the money that is being bandied around, £50 million, it's not the sort of money I want to be spending on that sort of player. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. There's a reason why he's the first choice right back for a very stacked French squad. But for us as a club, we now need to start, getting different profiles, not just the same sort of players. He can overlap like Ben White does for us. He can come inside the pitch as well. He's really good on the ball in that sense. He can really drive with the ball as well. He can take on players to create space, which is also really nice. Something that Ben White probably doesn't do as much. He doesn't really take on players' drive through the middle of the pitch, because maybe it's a lot more risky doing that in the Premier League. But I've seen Kounde do it a lot for Barcelona. I've seen him do it a lot for France. He can really drive into the midfield. Maybe that is enough for Arteta to bring him to the club. For me, I wouldn't get him just because he can do that, which is slightly different from what Ben White does. He's young. I think he's around 25 years old, or 23 to 25. He's around that age, so a really nice age to work with, a lot of potential to even grow further. And actually, before we did buy Ben White, we did want Jules Kean, so maybe, that thing of Arteta never leaving a target when he wants them no matter what is true, and Jules Kean has just always been a priority for us. He may, even be a centre-half when we play him as the deputy to Saliba, or maybe next to Saliba as well, because he can play on the left side of the two centre-backs as well. So it gives us a lot of variety at the back. I do feel like we could get another defender, but for me, I would like to see a sale in that department before we bring one in. And the player that seems to be on his way out, before I go on to the next two defenders, is Jakub Kiwior. Seems like a lot of teams in Italy want to sign him, so maybe we're looking at all these defenders to, replace Jakub Kiwior when he leaves. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Jules Kean. Do you think he's the sort of player we need? He is 5'10", slightly shorter than Ben White, or maybe they're the same height actually, but yeah, he's probably slightly shorter. Do we need his profile? He seems just a lot, similar to Ben White and the other players we have in our squad. We've got Julian Timber coming back as well. So do we need to really get that profile right back? I don't know. But anyway, let's now move on to the next player in the defence who we've been linked with. And it's a very exciting one. And it's Calafiori of Bologna, currently playing at the Euros with Italy. And my goodness, he is a fantastic defender. I've watched him and he just looks like an Arteta defender. I've never looked at a player and just been like, yes, that is an Arteta defender. I just knew when I was watching him play for Italy that there's got to be a link for us there. We've got to be going for him. He just fits the Arteta profile of a centre half slash, a fullback. My problem is, again, do we need him? He's young, 22 years old, or 23, may have got that wrong. So he's got a lot of potential to grow, and a lot of analysts have put him in the same bracket of Nathan Ake. Maybe he can be on Nathan Ake, really good at centre half and really good at left back, and I wouldn't mind that at all. He's tall as well, nice frame about him, and he loves to drive with the ball. I'm not sure if you did watch that Italy versus Croatia game, that confidence, the skill to drive through the centre of the midfield from centre half, it's just so admirable. And then have the composure to pick out a man on the flanks, and then he scores. It's just brilliant to see. That's what Arteta wants from his defenders. Take risks, look at the game state. Can you create something? Can you now cause havoc? Add an extra man in the attacking third. He's in a sense what people say an attacking centre half, looking to go forward to receive the ball into midfield, or sometimes looking to spread the pitch, go really wide and quite, high up the pitch as well to receive the ball and create. He is really good on the ball. we shouldn't be surprised at that. He was Thiago Motta's most important centre-half for Bologna as they reached Champions League football. And he is really strong in the air as well. He looks to defend the box in a really nice way as well. My thing is, if he would come in, would he be that left back that inverts and drives through the midfield? Or would he be that centre-half next to Saliba? And Gabriel could be out of the lineup, because let's not lie, Mikel Arteta had discarded Gabriel at the start of last season. Maybe Arteta's going to still be ruthless and see that as an improvement to get someone like Calafiori and get Gabriel out of the side. It's not wrong for me to say that, because we saw that last season when Gabriel was on the bench, that Arteta was willing to drop him. So maybe that's what his plan is still this season. Get Calafiori, someone that is a lot more comfortable on the ball than Gabriel. That is without a shadow of a doubt. And somebody who's really skillful as well to drive into the midfield that Gabriel doesn't have. But of course, we can't disregard the quality of Gabriel. He's a fantastic player. So that's why I do feel like he would come in and play the left back role and invert. And then it would be a really strong, back line. Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, or Timber or Ben White on that right back role. And then we can't forget Tomiyasu as well. So we'd be stacked. And I think we won't need to sign a defender for a couple of years, and that will be really good for us. We can focus in on that midfield, in on the attacking force, and become a really, really dangerous side for the next 10 or so years, especially with the age of these players as well. Really young, a lot of potential, and excited to win stuff. I think Calafiori is at that age now where he wants to be winning stuff, going for those trophies, and let's see what happens, because it does look like Juventus are the side in pole position to sign him, but a lot of Premier League clubs are after him, like us. And you can see why when you're watching him at the Euros. He just looks like a fantastic defender. Now, finally, the last player I'm going to talk about. Everyone knows this guy, Marc Guehi of Crystal Palace. Fantastic centre-half. I think if you watched him at the Euros, he's probably been England's best centre-half, or best player full stop, really. He's really comfortable on the ball, so good in his duels. And that's another thing about the other players I've said, really good in their duels as well. If you look at the games they've played, they're always winning their duels, which Arteta is obviously going to love. But yeah, Marc Guehi, he's really impressed me. He's a quick defender, really good on the ball, anticipates the game really well, really strong. Everything you would want from a centre-half, and we have been interested in him for a while as well. I don't think this is a link that's ever going to go away whilst he's at Crystal Palace. It just suits Arteta. He can really be, that solid backup for Saliba. I hate to say the word backup, but give that rotation to Saliba. He can't be playing as much games as he did last season. Plays in the Cup, he can play in the Champions League as well, and you won't see much of a drop-off in quality. He's one of the shorter centre-halves, but that does not affect his game at all, because he defends the box really, really, really well. The thing is, can he play full-back? But then again, do we need him to play full-back? It's not really something that we need in a minute. He can just be that centre-half and really be quality in behind Gabriel and Saliba. He can play both sides. And I think the best thing about Guehi is he's two-footed. He can kick as well with his right foot as his left foot. Just gives us a lot of variety as well, which is what Arteta wants all over the pitch. So yeah, in terms of fee, it's looking like around 30 million for Guehi. Crystal Palace, of course, do not want to lose him. They've already lost Elise. They're already going to probably lose Eze. There's no release clause for Guehi, so maybe they'll try and be strong and stick out for something like 50, 60 million, which I wouldn't be surprised. He definitely deserves it upon his performances in the Euros. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Guehi. Do you think he's the sort of player we need to be looking at in the defence? He's a solid defender for sure. And I just remembered I didn't talk about Calafiori's price. It looks like he would cost around, that 30 to 40 million range. Bologna aren't going to demand too much, but yeah, a lot of competition for him. But yeah, that's it for now. That is the video done. Let me know your thoughts. Who would you pick out of Calafiori, Kounde, Guehi? There's also been links to Diamonde. They seem to never go away. Would you get him instead? But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace.